Camera's rolling. Let's get one clap.
Welcome back to the Purple Peaks podcast with Minty and Kula.
What's up? What's up?
It is a glasses on type of day for me. And we are here on a Monday, capping off a great win over the weekend to the Denver Nuggets. Kula, my question for you is, when was the last time the Lakers won in Denver?
I'm pretty sure they'd lost their last 13 or something like that. Something crazy. It's definitely above 10. And I think in Denver it's been a long time, I think, since we won in Denver. I know we won in LA last year in the playoffs, but in Denver I think it's been a ridiculous amount of time.
This is the Los Angeles Lakers' first win in Denver since April of 2022. So that is 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
And honestly, what's stopping us from hanging the banner? Hang the banner. We beat Denver. Hang the banner.
Well, I'm looking at this note you have in our thread, and it's literally a banner for the Lakers that says "Beat the Nuggets that one time." And hey, as a Lakers fan, let's hang the freaking banner, man. Beating the Nuggets in Denver is like a 1 in a million as Lakers fans. Or as Lakers. And
Yeah.
2022. We had Anthony Davis for the past 3 years, and we still haven't been able to beat Denver in Denver. And within your first 3 or 4 games with Luka Doncic, you get it done, and you get it done in dominating fashion. 23-point win in Denver. But yeah, it feels good. I'm not gonna lie.
Definitely does. With this win, the Lakers now move to 2-13 versus the Nuggets since the start of 2023. And that includes playoffs and the regular season from the start of 2023. So 2 years, about 2.5 years, Lakers are now 2-13 against the Nuggets. We're clawing our way up to 500.
Yeah.
Gotta make it to 500, 13-13. We'll see. But yeah, definitely a big win.
Huge win. And I hate to say it, I don't usually tell people this, but it was my birthday on Saturday. It was my birthday, and Nick actually texted me. He's like, "Hey, happy birthday, bro. Big game tonight." And I'm like, we're looking at a birthday L.
W.
Yeah, we got the dub for the birthday, bro. We got the Lakers dub for the birthday, and it felt so good. Me and my wife were actually eating Shake Shack while watching the Lakers dominate the Nuggets, and it was really good. It was really comforting to see them play this well without a center. And I think one of the biggest themes coming into this game was, oh geez, Jackson Hayes is about to be a dessert. He's about to be a whole meal for Jokic. And in the 23 minutes he plays, and I think this is a stat, I'm pretty sure they're 9-1 in the last 10 games, or in the last however many games.
Lakers are so. This is shocking. I'm struggling to believe this is real, but it is real. Lakers are 9-1 when Jackson Hayes plays over 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Man, maybe we don't need a center.
Who would have thought, man? Who would have thought? You look at the way they just played the best center in the league, and you think about what JJ Redick did to Jokic this game. And another big theme looking back on this game for a lot of people is Jokic took 7 shots. That's all he got. And if you really watch the game, it wasn't a matter of him not taking shots. It was a matter of him not getting shots at all.
Yeah. The defense from what I saw, looked suffocating, especially on him. And he also comes out of this game with a plus-minus of -11.
Yeah, which is very uncharacteristic of the
for
Joker.
him. Yeah, he's one of the most effective and efficient players, whether that's scoring, assisting, rebounding. He really can do it all. But yeah, the Lakers gave him fits.
They had the perfect game plan set up for him, and another awesome thing the Lakers did as well, due to JJ Redick's just intelligence and IQ, is they were able to hide Luka's defensive incapabilities, which allowed him to play even better defense in transition for the Lakers. coming out with 4 steals, and I think 3 or maybe all 4 of them came when the Nuggets were trying to push the ball down the court, and he was just in the right position to make, and you put Luka Doncic in an open court, whether it be defense or offense, and he's gonna make a play. He knows where the ball is going. He knows how this works, and he did that multiple times last night. And looking at the box score here, the Lakers. Let's just take a moment of silence here because the Lakers starting 5 outscored the Nuggets whole team. Four of their starting 5 outscored their whole Nuggets team. They all combined for 101.
Is that real? Chat, that is not real.
And Rui Hachimura was out for 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. Who knows how many points he would have added to that if he stayed in those 6 to 8 minutes. I think I don't know if 6 to 8, but it was a pretty good amount that he was out with that little back stinger or spasm or whatever. But these 4 guys outscored the whole Nuggets team, which I think is
wow.
That's incredible. That's incredible. The Nuggets have been averaging 125 points per game over their 9-game win streak, and the Lakers outscore them with 4 of their starters.
That is insane. A great game from Luka Doncic, finishes with 32 points, 7 assists, 10 rebounds, 4 steals, 1 block, only 1 turnover, 8 of 8 from the free throw line, 4 of 9 from three-point line. That's almost 50%.
Yeah, those were tough threes he was taking too. I think one of them, Christian Brown's Christian Brown's hands were literally on Luka's face when he shot one of these deep wing threes. And you're just like, oh, man, this feels good. This feels good.
This is a great game. And what's even better about this is the Lakers play the Dallas Mavericks next.
And that's on Tuesday. Or that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Is that tomorrow or Wednesday? That's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. And this is just a perfect build-up game. Like, he's rolling. He's got his confidence back because, let's be real, the previous how many games, I believe 3 games that Luka was with the Lakers, wasn't looking so hot. We've talked about that in depth, very well documented, the shooting struggles. Most of those games he's coming away with, 14 points? I think he had one game, 15. Yeah. Not the greatest games, and he comes out with this master class of a performance against Denver, which is great, amazing. You beat Denver, needed that, haven't done that in years.
Me and Nick both had it in as an L. We talked about that last time, too. We both had it as an L.
Had that penciled in as an L for sure. Come out with the win, and then you got the Dallas Mavericks. Am I excited.
Who are also coming off a game where they get blown off the floor by the Warriors, who now are actually playing a lot better with Jimmy Butler. Maybe we can get into that a little bit later, but let's just dive deeper into this performance by the Lakers. I think there's a lot to talk about here, a lot to pick apart, and I think the first thing we need to start with that we have been touching on to begin this episode is the defense. The whole scheme that the Lakers had for Jokic, this just speaks to Jokic's greatness, is that a whole team's defensive mindset is to stop one single player. You have Jamal Murray, who's proven to be a bona fide scorer, and your whole defense is, nope, we're focusing on this guy. We're doing everything to stop this guy. Like, you think we might be worried about you? No. We're worried about this one guy. And the Lakers did that to the highest degree on Saturday. And first thing I definitely want to pick on first is kind of what we talked about with the difference between J.J. Redick and Darvin Ham. I think last year Darvin Ham made an infamous quote about the Joker saying, "Oh, the only way we can stop Jokic is hoping someone goes to his house and kidnaps him while he's sleeping." And it's like, okay, as a fan of the Lakers, that's the last thing you want to hear when you hear someone talking about stopping another player. Like, maybe give me some, I don't know, we can run some switches or some kind of different thing to expose his weaknesses. In reality, Jokic has he doesn't have very many weaknesses. He is probably the perfect. Yeah. And so the Lakers did a great job of exposing him, keeping him outside of the paint. I think he scores 80 to 90% of his points are within 15 feet of the basket. Bro was getting picked up and bodied up as soon as he hit the 3-point line. Guys were not letting him breathe. And I think, if you're the rest of the league, you need to take notes on what the Lakers did to Jokic because
Yeah.
I mean, they made everybody but Jokic beat them. And another theme too, can the Lakers do this 4 times in a series of 7? And it's like, I mean, we know what the Lakers can do. Offensively, we know they're a great offensive team. We know the Nuggets are a great offensive team. But how much of that production is coming from Jokic? We know the differences between him being on the floor and off the floor. We know they're a lot better when he's on the floor. But what happens when you take him away? And correct me if I'm wrong, but Aaron Gordon is not making 4 to 6 threes a game. He's not. That's why you leave guys like him open. That's why you leave guys like Russell Westbrook open who, in a game when those guys were making their threes, the Lakers still smacked them. And it's like, how many threes did they have? Aaron Gordon, 4 of 7. Russell Westbrook, 3 of 7. Those aren't like super, number-esque performances for Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook. We've seen what Russell Westbrook can do from the 3. Lakers fans know that more than anybody. And the Lakers did that. They said, "Hey, you make a 3. You make a 3. You make a 3." These guys were making those threes. I mean, a lot of the time they were making them, I'm watching this, I'm like, they're not doing that. If the Lakers can replicate a performance like this where they allow those other guys and force them to score on the Lakers, they can do that for 4 games. I think they can force everybody other than Jokic to make plays, and they're not going to make those plays. I don't think Aaron Gordon's not making 4 of 7. He's not going 9 of 15 in 4 out of 7 games.
I mean, that's one of his best games. 9 for 15, 4 of 7. Like, that's
great shooting game for him. And 4 of those 7 threes were wide open. I'm pretty sure all 7 of them might have been wide open or like extended space.
Yeah.
But it's like he's not doing that every time they play them. And I think the Lakers have the blueprint now to not only beat Jokic, but I think it helps them and gives them confidence to play other centers or other bigger teams in the league.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, we're going to take away your big man. You guys got to beat us every other way. I mean, obviously it's a different case with teams like OKC and Cleveland and Boston who have forwards and guards who are very, very capable of shooting and scoring rather than from their big. But as far as the Nuggets go, they're another great contender to the Lakers in the West, and they just found the blueprint to beat them. Sorry, Nick, I just went off, but
dude, I needed that. This guy knows ball. This guy loves the Lakers here. Like, honestly, I just like the NBA, so I'm learning here too, trying to stay up on my Lakers, which has been awesome, but also heavily invested in my Cougs, which kind of dominated my weekend. As much as I would have loved to watch this game, I was kind of paying more attention to the Cougs getting a massive win on the road against Arizona. But
I did see that.
But quick notes, yeah. I mean, just going back to our guy Darvin Ham, you just contrast that with J.J. Redick, who comes out and he says the group's conviction to execute the game plan was excellent. We saw multiple locker room clips of his passionate speech, interactions after the game, post-game. He goes on to say that J.J. Redick personally has not slept since the Portland game on Thursday. Hello? What? Like, in the game, we played this game on what, Saturday? Like, this dude has not slept in preparation for this game. He said he and his staff spent a lot of time preparing for Denver on both sides of the ball. And we saw that. I mean, on both sides of the ball, and Kula just talked about defense for 15 minutes, which, like, clearly you saw that. And so, yeah, like, if I take anything away from this game, it is coaching, like, 100%. Like, just J.J. Redick, masterclass, shut down Jokic, and that was just, phenomenal to see. And it's just funny when you contrast with that quote that you said from Darvin Ham, where he said, "Oh, well, we just hope he gets kidnapped in the night." Like, it's just like, dude,
actually,
can you at least try? Like, meanwhile, J.J. Redick is, like, not sleeping. Like just a stark contrast there.
Yeah, something you love to see, and it goes all the way down the line. Like these, if the coaches care, the players are going to care even more. And something else that's so huge of this Lakers win is Luka was smiling, I think, the whole game. Literally every shot he made, just smiling, running around, having fun, throwing touchdown passes to LeBron. Like, LeBron looks happy. The whole team looks good. Chemistry's rocking. You got pieces where they need to be. And And this is the product of those things. This is a product of having a more prepared coach, a better, well-rounded team. These are all products of those things. And once again, huge shout out to Rob Pelinka going out and getting these guys, making it work, and honestly proving a lot of people wrong so far. Now that you have Luka, I think the expectations are raised from when you had Anthony Davis, but I think they're meeting those other than this little rough stretch they had before again. Honestly, these two big wins. That Portland win wasn't easy, and I don't think we've talked since that game, but that wasn't an easy win. I watched that game, and it came down to the last little bit there, and
Yeah.
the Lakers pull that out in a back-to-back, and they come here and they dominate the Nuggets. So
Yeah, no, definitely Portland game. Yeah, you mentioned was a back-to-back, and they didn't get into Portland that night until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and then went and played that game, which I don't know if we mentioned either. And so that's just, I mean, no wonder J.J. Redick hasn't slept, right?
yeah,
Because, yeah, they get in at 3 and he has to go play a game that same day. So, and then, yeah, another note that is pretty impressive here is the Lakers with this win just snapped a 9-game winning streak for Denver. Denver was on a 9-game winning streak, and the Lakers just broke that. And in addition to that, Jamal Murray has been lighting it up recently too. He's been on a hot streak as well.
and they ended it at home.
Yeah,
The Nuggets are 20. They were 20-8 prior to that game at home, and the Lakers were 16. They were 15-14, or 14-14 away before this game.
yeah,
So they get this win. I think this might be one of the Lakers' more finer wins. I mean, a lot of people might say the Celtics win was better, but in a game without LeBron and AD, can it really be your best game? No, not really. The Celtics were just off that game. But,
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of the season, this has to be one of your more prideful wins for the Lakers. And they win it in dominating fashion, like
Yeah.
huge margin of victory. And, it wasn't in question the whole game. I think the Lakers led the entire game. And this reminded me of the playoffs last year. There were 2 or 3 games where the Lakers just looked like, okay, they're going to get a win here. They're going to win. And then the Nuggets would go on their runs, and they'd come back from, like, down 15 in the third quarter. And you saw a little bit about that this game. The Nuggets are infamous for going on runs very offensively. They have great transition shooters, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., good scorers inside in transition, and they have one of the best passers in the league. So it makes it really easy for them to get easy buckets. And you saw it in the Lakers game. Rui Hachimura, give this man his flowers. He hit timely threes in that third quarter when the Nuggets were looking like they were going to go on a run. Austin Reeves hit huge off-the-dribble threes where essentially the Lakers said, hey, go get a bucket for us. They just made a 3. Austin Reeves said, okay, I can give you one back. And that is another comforting sign for this Lakers team. They can trade shots. They can go into a shooting battle with these guys. And in a third quarter where last year in the playoffs, the Lakers go for like 12 points and the Nuggets drop 33. And that's what it looked like in this game. There were a ton of instances where they were just pushing the ball, getting transition threes, getting good shots. And then the Lakers would come back and do the exact same thing, knock down their shots. And they ultimately matched them up in that third quarter, 33 apiece. And really good sign looking for the Lakers right now. It feels really good. I'm not going to lie. It feels so good, man, to get that win against the Nuggets because the past 2 years.
win.
A birthday win, man, because the past 2 years in the playoffs have been nightmares. Just,
Yeah.
oh, we're playing this guy again? Like, we got this guy 4 times in a row. Like, and the Lakers haven't had an answer. And as of right now, these boys got an answer.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, yeah, just looking back at some of the biggest wins for the Lakers this year, we mentioned the Boston one, which was huge without LeBron and AD, just shocking. I remember watching that game. I actually was born an hour outside of Boston, so low-key a Boston fan, but it's like
Not a bad team to be a fan of.
mortal enemy of the Lakers, but that's besides the point. But yeah, that Boston game they won by 21. We talked about this Denver game over the weekend, won by 23. Biggest margin of victory this season was 38 points, and that's against the Wizards, which
Yeah, I mean,
you can expect.
yeah, you look in those top 5, and the Wizards are in there twice.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I said earlier, like this could easily go down as one of their more impactful wins, one of their more like confidence boosting wins. I mean, yeah, you see that 21-point win against Boston, and yeah, I don't think LA or LeBron and AD played in that game, but the Celtics just had an off one. But other than that, all the way down the list that we're looking at here, and the only other notable one that I can see was that New York win, that we got before the Luka trade. That was huge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So other
That
than
was a
that,
big win. Yeah.
yeah, other than that, like you just kind of see teams that we should be blowing out.
Yeah.
But like seeing Denver at the top of that list, that feels really good, and I know it helps the Lakers as a whole, just confidence and everything they need going into this rough stretch. I don't know if you saw, but LeBron made a story post, and he was like, "I should have screened." Yeah, that one. Boom, you got it. Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, you can talk about that.
So this is a couple weeks out, but it's just a rough stretch for the Lakers in terms of schedule. It's mid-March, and you guys probably saw it as well. But LeBron, I mean, has the audacity. He's been getting some heat for it. Has the audacity to screenshot his schedule of the Lakers, post on his story, say this is insane, and let's break it down because honestly, it is kind of insane. So Thursday, this is just mid-March. Thursday, you got at the Bucks. I got to make sure I get my home and aways right. So at the Bucks. Friday, the very next day, back to Denver. And then you go Sunday, so nice break on Saturday. Sunday, you got the Suns at home. Monday, very next day, Spurs at home. That's a win. Get a break on Tuesday. Very next day, Wednesday, you play Denver again. What? I actually did not even realize that. Denver at home this time. You played Denver twice in 5 days, which we've literally spent like the last 30 minutes talking about how good of a team this is. And then the very next day on Thursday,
the Bucks again.
Then you get the Bucks again. Oh wow, yeah, you get the Bucks again. Who, I mean, they're not bad either. Obviously, with the tandem of Giannis and Dame, and then adding some pieces at the deadline as well.
Mm-hmm.
Utah native Kyle Kuzma, shout out there.
Big shout out.
Big shout out, love him. And yeah, no, that is an insane stretch of schedule for sure. Not just because of like the back-to-backs, but also the opponents. I didn't realize. Yeah, you play the Bucks twice and you play the Nuggets twice. And this is all in a week span from Thursday, March 13th to Thursday, March 20th. 10 days from there, March 30th, my birthday. So that's huge.
Yes, sir. That is huge. Who are they playing on that day? Do we know?
Hey, let's see. I believe they play on the 31st. So, yeah, they play on the 31st, the Rockets, and then
That's
they
a fun
play
game.
on the 29th at Memphis.
Oh, so that's another tough stretch right there. Just 2 days within each other. You play the third and the fifth seed right now.
Yeah,
currently in the West.
I mean, yeah, like this. It is a pretty nuts schedule, and honestly, so I know we've mentioned it a couple times on the podcast. The Lakers, they have the fourth toughest remaining schedule, but it actually just got upgraded to the third hardest schedule. So it was the fourth hardest out of 30, obviously, teams, and now it's the third hardest remaining schedule in the league, which, I mean, is scary to think about, but it also, like this win that we've talked about over Denver, it also gives you confidence moving forward, which is great.
Oh, yeah. And to be honest, coming off this win, the Lakers should beat the Mavs pretty easily, I think, tonight or tomorrow night. And the Mavs are coming off a tough loss against the Warriors.
I have it penciled in as a loss when we created this about 2 weeks ago, but honestly, I think I might change it to a win. Just because it is a home game. The Mavs are coming off an ugly loss.
Lakers coming off a huge win, and
Lakers
which obviously changes it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, and once again, let's get a moment of silence for Nico Harrison. I think the cameraman was absolutely dirty. I think I watched like a segment, and it was like halftime, and the crew's like raving about the Lakers win that they had the night before, and then like literally right when the highlight segment goes off, it cuts to Nico Harrison, and he just looks miserable. And
what is Nico Harrison doing at, like, I just don't know.
Rob Pelinka was at that game too.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like what are those two doing together? It's like, oh, I saw that. I was like, man, I'm feeling some type of way.
Yeah, you know, it's tough, but You know, the Mavs will figure it out. They're expecting to get AD and Gafford back. I don't know about Lively, but they'll get those two guys back. And here's another thing. If the Mavs do get those guys back, this is a totally different thing. I guess we can kind of move on now from talking. I mean, unless we have some more things to say about the Lakers game.
No, we can roll.
Luka was great. Luka was great. We'll just say that first and foremost. But yeah, let's kind of move on here to this. We'll kind of go into like this playoff scenario. I guess would be a fun little segment we can go into.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're looking at the standings right now. Out of the bottom 4 or 5 of the play-in, the Mavs look like they'll probably get that 8 seed. I mean, out of those 5 teams, I think the Mavs look like the second best team out of those 5, with an exception of Golden State. I think Sacramento still got a ton of things to figure out to get to those guys' level. I mean, they're all kind of in the same bunch, but out of those, if the Mavs have AD and Gafford per se, I think they can make some noise against the Thunder.
Yeah.
Definitely make some noise against the Thunder, because we saw it last year. We saw what Kyrie did to the Thunder.
We owned the Thunder. Like,
they owned them.
Nothing brought me more joy. That was amazing.
Dude, and I've been listening to a lot of talk shows since the Lakers win against the Nuggets. And don't get me wrong, SGA is having a generational season. They're playing out of their minds. 10 losses this far into the season for a Thunder team. Yeah, huge. They're not unbeatable. Where did this narrative come from that the Thunder are suddenly an untouchable opponent in the West? I don't believe in that. If there's one thing, like Nick said in the first episode of this podcast, experience trumps regular season greatness. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you go 73-9. Wink, wink, LeBron, come back from 3-1. I don't care if you're 73-9. If you've been to the playoffs more and you've been in those moments more, you're gonna win. I don't care. Like, unless that team really is just generationally great.
Yeah.
Which I don't think the Thunder are. Let's be honest. I don't think they are. They have a generationally great player, but the team around him just looks really good. They're playing great, the best in the league, but that first round matchup, dude, Mavs and Thunder, that's not a great matchup for the Thunder, in my opinion. Not a super great matchup. I don't think so, because it's basically a mirror almost. You have SGA playing one-on-one with Kyrie. He'll be matched up. Both two great offensive players. You have Clay and J-Dub.
Yeah.
Once again, great 3-and-D. And then you down low, you got Chet Holmgren, but he's gonna be hands absolutely full with AD and Gafford.
Oh, yeah. AD on Chet, yeah.
Dude, like,
that's raps.
That's a tough matchup for the
raps.
Thunder. I don't care how unbeatable or how everyone, dude, the worst thing I've heard, and it was on First Take this morning actually.
Oh gosh.
It's the Thunder and then it's everybody else. Don't ever say that. I hate that. Like, the Thunder are good, but like, dude, I mean, Denver could clap the Thunder. Like,
yeah. Well, it's like, sure, like, dude, yeah, OKC, phenomenal, like, regular season, but
yeah. How many times have we seen that?
Playoffs, postseason, that is a whole different ball game.
Love the Jazz, but the Jazz are the perfect example of that. Like, have like just a stellar like regular season, go to the playoffs and just get booted first round.
Yeah, it's like
they're the perfect example of that. And it was because they were inexperienced with like Gobert and Mitchell, like obviously now. And I think the Cavaliers are better than the Thunder, bro. Like,
Cavs are phenomenal.
I think the Cavs are a better team than the Thunder.
Yeah.
And another thing too is on First Take again, I think Big Perk. I think Perk had the Celtics over the field. He thinks the Celtics are going to win the championship. And don't get me wrong, coming off a championship, I honestly think they're the team to come out of the East easily. Yeah. I think they beat Cleveland in 7. I think they're the most complete team in the East. But, if we're focusing on the West, I think out of those top 8 seeds, I mean, other than Houston, I think Houston could easily be exposed too. But I think the Thunder, they're very, 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 like, exposed. Like, get them on exposure warning, man, because I think they're going to get a nice little wake-up call in the first round, I think, if they play a team like Dallas. But, yeah, even the Timberwolves, even a team like the Timberwolves, like we know what Anthony Edwards is capable of. Like the Thunder, they're not safe, man. They're not safe. And the reason why I'm talking about this a lot is every talk show I've heard, it's the Thunder and then it's everybody else. Like, where did they get this respect from, bro? Like, we know SGA is going to win MVP. We get that. They're the best defensive team over the regular season. But I don't know where this narrative came that these guys are all of a sudden the 17 Warriors, like 96 Bulls. They're just like, these guys are unbeatable. Like, they're far and away the best team. It's like, no, they're not, man. Like, no, they're not. Like, you just forget about whoever else is playing in the West. I don't think so.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Definitely interesting to look at the standings here, the potential matchups. And yeah, that I guess as of right now, that potential matchup would be the Thunder and the Mavericks, which we talked about. And yeah, if the Mavericks can get, I mean, hopefully all three of their bigs. I don't know where all three of them are at. But yeah, if they got all three of their bigs back against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who would be, I mean, running, Chet and then iHeart. I mean, that matchup could go either way. And, I mean,
very much up in the air, but that's kind of what I was saying. Like, not like you play the Mavs and it's like, oh, Thunder and 4. No, that's not a Thunder and 4
it's
series.
Still a toss-up.
Like, the Mavs are going to win 3 or 4. They can easily beat the Thunder.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, anything can happen, especially postseason playoffs. Like,
and we know Kyrie's in the playoffs.
Oh,
like, let's not get started on that. Let's not get started on how Kyrie plays in the playoffs.
Kyrie stan.
Yeah.
Love Kyrie. No, yeah, definitely. And, yeah, I mean, speaking of the Mavericks, that's who we're taking on next tomorrow at home, which is amazing. And hopefully Luka comes out and drops 40, maybe 50, maybe 60.
Maybe 70. He's done it before, but I don't know if he'll do that. But let's hope for like a nice 50 bomb, maybe 6 or 7 threes.
Hopefully Nico Harrison is in attendance. He's sitting there.
That would be great. They're playing in LA, right?
Yeah.
He'd get a standing ovation. Come on, Nico. Come down to Crib. Come down to the Crib. You get a standing ovation if you're in the crowd.
Standing O.
You'll get a standing ovation in that place. I don't know about Dallas, but you'll get a standing ovation in LA, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Man, yeah. We'll see what happens there. Believe they're it looks like they have the Wolves next. Actually 3-game home stretch. And that goes into March. Looks like a 6-game home stretch with the Clippers twice in there. And then the Pelicans, who have been mid. And then the Knicks, who we just beat. But actually, 6-game home streak that's great. I mean, you never can say no to that.
Huge.
That's big.
And we're great at home. 29 at home, so.
Yeah.
Or 27.
No, yeah, that's great. I didn't even realize that. Nice home stretch. And we already talked about that brutal stretch later on in March, starting with the 13th. And then, facing the Bucks twice, facing the Nuggets twice. Man, this schedule just...
It's going to be tough.
I mean, dude, no wonder. Like, you look through it, it's like, oh, well, no wonder it's the third hardest. Like, yeah, I mean, anyone could tell you that looking at it. Like, man,
that's a tough schedule. You play a lot of playoff contenders in those stretches and those next 2 months. It's going to be huge, man. And getting this win just makes it all that much more sweeter. Like, if the Lakers go into this game and get blown out, it's like, oh, geez, this is not looking good. But Lakers get a big win in Denver. They're first in 3 years. And the Lakers are feeling themselves. Luka's definitely feeling himself in LA. LeBron's feeling good. I think these next couple weeks, I think they'll be just fine. They'll be just fine.
Yeah, no, definitely. See how they can finish out in terms of record-wise and standing-wise. I mean, standing-wise, they are 2 games from the 2 seed. So they are, 2 games behind. Let's see. You got Memphis in the 2 seed. You got Denver in the 3 seed, and you got the Lakers in the 4 seed.
And they're only above the Rockets in the 5th base, like solely based off percentage points, but
just barely above the Rockets.
Like literally 0.14.
Yeah.
Or 0.004. That's how far they're above the Rockets.
Yeah, and then Clippers are 4 games behind, or what would that be? 3.5? 3.5 games behind that. So not too worried about the Clippers unless they make a run here. But you want to stay above the Rockets and then, see if you can jump past the Nuggets and the Grizzlies, which would be incredible. You're looking at the 2 seed, then you'd be matching up against a 7 seed. And as we know, those 7 through 10 would be that kind of playoff format or play-in, I should say, format. So they're coming off some high-intensity games, essentially playing to get in the playoffs, which is not an ideal spot to be in. Whereas if you're the 2 seed, you're chilling, and you have the Timberwolves coming up on you, or the Mavs coming up, or the Warriors. I mean, you're not super worried about that.
No.
So,
I think the Lakers will end up. I'm gonna make my prediction right now. Prediction alert. I'm saying Lakers get 2nd seed. I'm saying they take it.
I am honestly with you.
Even with this top 4 hardest schedule, I think the Lakers turn it up. I think Luka turns it up, and they get that 2nd seed. I mean, I'd be more than happy with the 3rd. That's first round home advantage, home court advantage. But if you can get that 2nd seed, man, that's huge.
Honestly,
Actually, I think they have home court advantage right now. Either way, because they're 4. Yeah, they should. Yeah. So either way, I mean, 1 through 4, that's where you want to be. But my prediction right now, they will be in the 2nd seed.
Dude, I honestly don't think that's that far off.
It's a tangible prediction.
No, that's not far off.
It's not one of those if the Lakers were in 8th, and it's we're gonna end up with the 2nd seed.
No, yeah, I could definitely see that, and that would be amazing. And talk about what would the conversation around JJ Redick be at that point? Dude, taking this team to the 2nd seed,
he's gonna.
That's
right
just
now,
incredible.
I think the league has to be thinking about Coach of the Year. If they get to that 2nd seed, give him Coach of the Year, because out of those top teams, those coaches have been there. They've been doing those things. But I think for the Lakers to go from 7 last year in the play-in, let's not forget they got it to the 7th because of the play-in. But if they go from 7th to number 2 in this Western Conference, dude, I mean, a lot of young teams, but dude, Coach of the Year, man.
Yeah,
we need to start talking about that, because I think first year, I mean, dude was talking. His only way of having a say in the game has been broadcasting and the podcast. That's been really his main say, other than playing. But going from that to taking the Lakers to the 2nd seed, this isn't just any team. This is the Lakers.
That's true.
That's a big time, stage.
Yeah.
Big time city to do it in.
Yeah.
Come on.
No. Yeah. Huge props to him, and even more if he gets us up to the 2 seed. That would be incredible. And what else is there to say at that point? That's just respect. You just have to give him that nod at that point. And in addition to the roster as well for figuring it out, and certainly the Luka acquisition helps. And we would hope that he continues his hot streak, continues to drop 30-point games. And honestly, I mean that's his usual. A 30-point game is nothing for him, and it just took a few games for him to figure it out, to adjust. The All-Star break was right in the middle of that too, so that doesn't help. And seemingly he's figured it out, and now he's back to his old self. That's what he said after the game himself. He said, I believe the question was man, Luka, you look so happy, or why are you smiling so much? And he says, well, I'm smiling because I feel like I'm back to my old self, and I'm having fun, and I'm near triple-double, and I'm about to go absolutely massacre my former team, which I'm sure is going through his head. That has to be going through his head.
You know it is.
And man, am I excited for that. That game is tomorrow.
As a Mavs fan, too. That says a lot. As a Mavs fan, he's excited for that.
Oh, man. Yeah. The anticipation. So we'll see what happens there.
And you got LeBron and Luka. You got LeBron and Kyrie going. That's always fun, too.
That's true.
That's always so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Hey,
that's a big game, baby.
That's a big game. Kyrie's balling out, too.
He is. He's doing his thing. He's trying to hold things down, man, until his partner in crime gets back.
Yeah, I believe Kyrie, since the trade, is averaging around 28 points per game, which is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot. So yeah, he's balling out, and hopefully, it'd be fun if he comes out and has a great game too. That'd be fun to see. A lot of interesting dynamics with, Luka and Kyrie, obviously teammates. LeBron and Kyrie teammates. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Game tomorrow, and great win over the weekend. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for tuning in on this episode of Purple Peaks.
What is
And
this,
we'll,
episode 4?
Episode 4, man.
Episode
Come on,
4.
come on, give it up, man. Give it up for the
Hey.
homies, pulling up, being consistent, you feel me?
Let's go.
We're happy to be here.
We'll record something later this week or weekend, or
Yeah.
who knows.
We
when.
got to talk after this Mavs game tomorrow.
Oh.
We
Have to.
we could be talking about a 50 piece. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yep. Hey, but yeah, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Purple Peaks podcast. Once again, failed to mention this at the beginning, but yeah, shout out to Tanner Pope. I believe his info's in our video description. Yep. Go show him some love. Designed our logo and helped out with the logo and graphics and things like that. So big shout out to him.
Huge shout out. And go Lakers, Lake Show, baby.
Let's
yes,
go.
Sir.